Thank you everyone for coming today. This is going to be our first info session out of 3 info sessions that we're going to do. I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Darren. I am part of the ad hoc team as well, and I represent PERMIAS Massachusetts. And let me take time to give it over to Jimmy, our second moderator of the night or morning. I think you're on mute. I think Jimmy's having technical issues, but Jimmy is going to be our second moderator. But I thought we'll go back to him. I think we can kind of introduce our running candidates for the next administration. I think we can go to Michelle first, yeah, to kind of introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name's Michelle Kaviona. I'm currently studying in UCLA, doing business economics. Oops, I'm sorry. Okay. Business economics and communications. And I'm a third year, and I'm currently the president of PERMIAS Nasional for the next year. I've had past experiences in PERMIAS Nasional as well, where I was co-director for organizational development and helped a lot with the different chapters here. So maybe some of you already know me, and if you haven't, I'm excited to get to know all of you. And I was also recently the co-president of PERMIAS LA before I graduated from that role.
Thank you, Michelle, for that introduction. We can go next to Latissa, the next VP candidate for External Affairs.
Hi, I'm Latissa. So I was actually working with Michelle in Coordinator Wilayah, and she's an amazing leader. And so I love working with her. I currently am a rising junior at NYU, and my major is right now currently sustainable development. And yeah, that's me.
Next up, we have Hanif, which is going to be our candidate for VP of Internal Affairs. Go ahead, Hanif, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Darren. Hi, everyone. My name is Hanif. I am currently a graduate student in Penn State. I'm studying petroleum and natural gas engineering. And I have also been involved in the previous administration of PERMIAS Nasional, alongside with Michelle in OrgDev. And currently, I am very flattered that she asked me to join her to run as the candidate for president and vice president.
Well, yeah, thank you guys for introducing yourselves. Paling, I think my co-moderator Jimmy's still having technical problems that you want to.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. So my name is Jimmy Sutompul. I'm from PERMIAS for Collins. I'm gonna be the second moderator for today's information session, and yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys also again for making time. Paling a little bit about how it's gonna work today. We're gonna give Michelle and her team about 20 minutes to do kind of go through their presentation, and after that we'll have a session where we can ask questions, moderated by me and Jimmy. So go ahead, Michelle. Let me know if you can't share screen.
Give me 1 second. I'm trying to share screen. Does that work? Can you guys see my screen?
It's still loading.
So let me know when it works, because I'm sharing right
now. Did you stop sharing?
Does that work?
Okay. Yeah, we see it now.
Tadi I went on ini on present mode nggak sekarang?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
We're seeing the
We
like
kind of-
behind the scene one. You gotta
Yeah.
switch it. Probably in the display settings. Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
There we go.
Okay. All right. So first of all, thank you guys dari tim ad hoc for hosting acara hari ini. We really appreciate all the time and all the effort you have put into the election, as well as to coordinating all the events and stuff. So already introduced a little bit about me and my VPs, and I'm very grateful that I have both of them as a team. I think one of the things that I really value is to have, very talented individuals in my team, and both, my VP Hanif, Latissa, dua-duanya tuh very star leaders, and I'm very excited to work with them in the future, and hopefully we can all take PERMIAS Nasional in the future and grow it even bigger. And then just to share a little bit about our vision and mission, we really went deep dive and really thought about what we want the next administration to be. So we did shift the vision and mission a little bit, and I'll first go deeper into the vision. So our vision, as read, is PERMIAS Nasional aspires to be a world-renowned organization that creates a home away from home for all Indonesian students in the United States through building a strong community of academically talented and professionally accomplished future world leaders. So I'll divide the discussion of our vision and why we put out this vision as a team. First, we want to emphasize on a world-renowned organization. I think with the scale that PERMIAS Nasional is right now, we want that accreditation and be able to also promote ourselves as an organization to external organizations and have, that power of a community together to be recognized worldwide. And then what's unique about PERMIAS, again, is the fact that we are studying in the US, but we are all Indonesian students. And one thing that I feel sometimes gets forgotten about what the purpose of PERMIAS. PERMIAS kan singkatan dari Persatuan Mahasiswa Indonesia di AS. Tapi terkadang we only think about the Persatuan part, but we don't think about the Mahasiswa Indonesia di AS, which is basically what we're trying to focus in, with our administration. What are the needs of really the people, kayak the regular student that might be in PERMIAS or might not be in PERMIAS, kayak perlunya apa sih, kayak as a student studying in the US, what are your, academic needs, what are your social needs, and really thinking kayak about them as our target market, and thinking about programs and everything that they need and supporting them as students in the US. So not just creating programs that we think would be great and everything like that, but really thinking about what is it do people need? What is it do they want? And I think that's what our vision is for PERMIAS Nasional next year, and to build this strong community of all these people that we're thinking about and make sure our network becomes bukan hanya larger, tapi juga lebih kuat gitu. And future world leaders, why we're emphasizing that is because, I think studying in the US is such a big opportunity. Kadang kayak we don't take a step back to really realize like the opportunity that we have. Kayak we're the lucky, even though kita ada kayak 8.000, tapi 8.000 itu cuman setitik dibanding 300 juta rakyat di Indonesia gitu. So we really need to make the best out of the opportunity that we have in the US, and also maybe we take it back or even become future leaders here in the US and help our country somehow. So we want PERMIAS Nasional to be an ecosystem where we can support these individuals, and also in the future we see them as leaders. Karena juga udah terbukti, we see a lot of menteri-menteri Indonesia sekarang yang dulu mungkin alumni dari sekolah-sekolah dan universities in the US. So how can we best support, and we want to make more programs to support the development of the people in our community, so they can grow and become the leaders, tomorrow's leaders of Indonesia. So that comes into our mission, which is to support all Indonesian students in the United States by engaging students, chapters, and external organizations through continuous collaboration and focusing on value-add programs that directly address their academic, professional, and social needs. Lumayan panjang, tapi so these are the three areas that we focus on: students, chapters, dan external organizations. Tadi I went into a deep dive about talking about students, you know, the people and what they actually need. Tapi another key part is chapters, you know, all the PERMIAS chapters as our key partners benar-benar, you know. I get asked a lot kayak PERMIAS Nasional itu role-nya apa sih sama chapters. Tapi in the end, PERMIAS Nasional's role is to support all the chapters to the best of our abilities. It's not, you know, to direct them in any way or anything like that, but literally is to give them any of the resources that they need. And, you know, I got that privilege, like hands-on privilege last year when I was working with OrgDev, di mana aku bisa ngobrol sama chapters kayak ada keluhannya apa aja, terus masalah-masalah apa aja, and also finding the solutions to that. So in the coming year, what I really want to integrate is that feedback loop, you know. What is PERMIAS Nasional for if it's not for helping all the chapters? Jadi, with you guys, especially here today, thank you so much for attending. Kayak, you know, representative from the chapters of the East, please always, you know, consider in the next year to give us all the feedback that you like, because the vision and mission that we created here is based on what we think would be great, and also from interviewing the department heads, also from talking to some chapters. But we know that people have so much more opinions and so much more to share, and we would love to integrate that into what PERMIAS Nasional would be in the future. So we don't, you know, operate as an organization in silo, tapi what we are doing in the next year is to operate and actualize all the feedback that the chapters give us, you know. And then external organizations, kita kayak juga mau kerjasama and use that PERMIAS Nasional name to bring all the chapters juga to bisa collaborate with, like, ada KBRI, KJRI, and even larger institutions yang ada di Indonesia, mungkin kayak other business groups and professional associations, as well as you know, student clubs in the US yang not necessarily Indonesian, tapi mungkin the Japanese student club, Brazilian, and everything like that. There is so many opportunity that we can get with external organizations, and so many learning experiences that we can get, and also even give value and share more about apa sih, what is Indonesia about, what is our culture, and, you know, what is PERMIAS Nasional about. And then again, focusing from these three parties, focusing on value add programs. Kayak one thing we want to instill is, before creating programs, is really thinking about kayak, okay, ini berguna nggak sih, for what and for who, and really getting into that, you know, design principle and business thinking of, like, who are our target customers and how will this help them? Will this address a need? Karena what I've observed is there are some times where, and I've been guilty of it myself, I do a passion project or an event di mana kayak I'm so excited for it, tapi mungkin attendance not as much as expected. Jadi I feel like if we focus on programs yang benar-benar drive bigger impact and moves the needle for students, chapters, and external organizations, that will, you know, further our collaboration and our relationship with these three parties. And the three focus areas we looked at were academic, professional, and social needs. I think I went really over. I'd love to talk more about academic, professional, and social needs, tapi all those three aspects will be addressed by Hanif and Latissa as well, as they go through the specific programs and the different departments that we're going to enroll in the next year. So I think I can just hand it over first to Hanif, VP of Internal. And just to give a little introduction about Hanif, he's been a very spectacular, you know, person that I've worked with in OrgDev last year. He took and handled the establishment of 14 new chapters di PERMIAS sebagai PERMIAS Chabang official, and he went through all those processes and set the, you know, SOP and cara-cara membuatnya, and he did that all very independently in the team. And, you know, I think he'll be a great internal vice president. So daripada gue ngomong banyak lagi, Hanif silahkan.
Okay, thank you so much for the wonderful introduction, Michelle. I think you set the bar kind of too high, but I'll try my best. Yeah, so so overall, for our internal affairs division, basically, Michelle already explained a lot of our big goals for PERMIAS Nasional externally, and in order to accomplish that, we need to have a very strong organization internally. So that's what I am focusing on. I'm focusing on setting up a strong system internally in order to support our whole organization. And to start off, we are going to have this new department. We are going to call it General Affairs, which basically consists of generalists and two generalists and 2 secretaries. And they will be responsible for all of the administrative stuffs for PERMIAS Nasional and ensuring the performance of the whole organization as a system. Yeah, so basically for the generalists, the main objectives are integrating the general and departmental timelines, and also organizing departmental OKR framework. So basically our suggested programs mainly consist of monthly board meeting. So we're going to try to integrate all of the departments, and we're also going to have departmental bi-weekly progress report, so that we can keep up with what everybody is doing, and we can evaluate them systematically. And yeah, we're also going to have evaluation on the departmental achievements and milestones. And then for the secretary, we are the main objectives are organizing general and departmental documents such as letters, meeting notes. So surat masuk, surat keluar, it will be all through the same through this one channel through our secretary, and also archiving organizational documents and files. So this will also be significant for the sustainability of this organization. So we know that the previous administration had some really awesome events. They went through some really creative programs, and we'd like to keep that sustainable, and also what we're going to do in our administration. So we are going to have some kind of integrated archiving system. So yeah, basically the proposed programs are integrated meeting notes, integrated organizational letter publishing system, and also cloud archiving. Next. And so next, we are also going to have a finance team. So this finance team is separated with the, we also have another fundraising team. So the fundraising team will focus on the cash in, and for the finance team, they will focus on both the cash in and cash out. So yeah, basically they are responsible for managing the general cash flows and treasury for PERMIAS Nasional. Their main objectives are integrating and organizing general cash flows and bookkeeping, and then also organizing general financial report, and then also managing organizational treasury. Because one of our concern is PERMIAS Nasional needs to have some kind of funds that is sustainable throughout the following administration. So some sort of dana abadi. So yeah, our this department will be very significant also. Our main programs will be yeah, financial review and setting up fundraising goals in collaboration with the fundraising team. Next. So yeah, next we have fundraising and business development. So I plead Michelle to include the business development, because fundraising sometimes sounds kind of, you know, danus gitu, kayak yang paling danus tuh divisi yang kayak paling selalu ribet kerjaannya, dikejar-kejar semua orang. But we are trying to make this fun. Jadi not only we are going to raise money, but we are also going to develop some kind of business platforms for within our organization. So yeah, their responsibility will be to satisfy the financial needs of PERMIAS Nasional. Their main objectives are planning and executing fundraising and business development strategies, and then planning and executing fundraising and business development. Oh, sorry, I put that twice. And yeah, and then the next one is collaboration with sponsorships and we're going to do that alongside with the partnership department, which Latissa will also explain later on. So yeah, for the programs, we are going to push our PERMIAS store. So basically, we are going to focus on developing that platform as a way for us to raise funds, but also as a platform for the officers to learn how to run a business, pretty much. Then next. And human resources and development. So yeah, this is some sort of a breakthrough from the usual human resource. So what I'm focusing on is, yeah, Michelle mentioned that we are trying to, we are planning to have a lot of value add programs. So for all of PERMIAS members, so that all of PERMIAS member can develop their academic or professional capabilities. But we would also like to, for our officers who are doing most of the works, to have some kind of privilege, some kind of added value throughout their experience in PERMIAS Nasional, so that this is the department that will focus on making sure that everyone is developing themselves. So, oh yeah, I think I put the wrong, but pretty much, yeah, their responsibility will be to manage the human resources, the officers, and then also making sure that they are developing and functioning in each of the departments. So yeah, they will be the main objectives are, for the first one is officer recruitment. So that's going to be the significant thing to do in order to run our organization. But not only after recruiting, they're also going to set up KPI and individual evaluation system. And this KPI will be evaluated, and then we're going to decide for each of the departments what sort of treatments that we're going to need. So that's why the third objective is developing the human resources capabilities. So yeah, for the programs recruitment, we're going to have a standardized SOP. And then for the KPI, we are going to evaluate them monthly. And then based on the evaluation, we're going to determine which aspects do we need from our officers. And we would like this evaluation to be specific for each of the departments, so that, yeah, we can have some general trainings in order to develop our soft skills as officers. But then also we are going to take a look at each of the departments specifically in order to decide what they need. For example, for the PNP, for the promotion and publication department, we are planning to have some kind of crash course with social media managers. And then for the fundraising, we can have trainings with businessmen, in order to, yes, just some kind of crash course, how to run a business, that sort of things. So yeah, so at least when the officers are done with this administration, they are not going to live with nothing. They will gain their knowledge and soft skills. So yeah, that's, yeah, and last but not least, I would say this is a very important department, the tech and digital transformation. So they are basically the supporting system for everything concerning digital platforms, such as the websites and so on. So yeah, their objectives are pretty straightforward. They are going to support the technical needs concerning digital platforms. And then they are also responsible for developing the PERMIAS National website. So yeah, as you all can see, our website is amazing. It is very well designed. It is very accessible, but we also have other platforms outside of that website. We also have the hub from org dev team. Shout out to Michelle. And then we also have various other digital platforms, and we would like that to be integrated, to be more integrated in the future, so that everyone can just access that website and then expand from there. And then we are going to have the integrated mailing and archiving system. And for all of the chapters, we know that the previous administration had already started to have an official emails for all of the chapters, and we are going to make use of that in order to really connect all of the chapters and to connect the chapters with us. So yeah, we are going to keep improving the system with the tech team. And then next, yeah, and then oh, so that one was not the last but not least. This is the last but not least, academic research and professional development. So yeah, the name is pretty straightforward. They are responsible for facilitating the academic research and professional support to all PERMIAS National members. So yeah, pretty much I separate them into two main objectives. The first one concerning academic and research, and then the second one concerning career and professional development. We already have amazing programs from the previous administration, such as Warekada, which is webinars, and we are planning to expand more on that. So yeah, we are going to really push forward the webinars, and also to give the channels for our especially our graduate students, because our graduate students here in the United States have amazing research, and most of them are directly applicable for various problems and situations in Indonesia. So we would like to share those. We would like to really give them the platform to share their works, and then to also get all of the support that they need. And also we already have mentoring programs with Persepsi, which Latissa takes a very big part in it for the previous administration. So we would like to also push that to really give all of the supports that our members need. And then we are also going to have, so this is not only will be done with the academic research and professional development team, but also alongside with the partnership team. So we would like to, and this is, I would say this is the brainchild of Michelle. We would like to have some sort of scholarship programs in order to provide aids to our students here in the United States. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure everyone at least know one other student who had financial problems, and we would like to have this platform to provide their needs. And yeah, I think Latissa can also fill in and in the in the partnership side. So yeah, that will be all for me. I'm gonna pass the stick to Latissa.
Hello. Yeah, so I think for VP External, we're focusing a lot more on like community outreach and kind of getting more people involved in PERMIAS Nasional from an external perspective. And so the first thing that we're gonna talk about is OrgDev and how that's gonna work. Oh, partnerships. Okay, sorry, not OrgDev, partnerships. So the partnerships department, right now, our main partners are, well, hopefully they're gonna continue to be partners, is we're gonna plan on working with Kerja Menos and of course the KJRI KBRI. But I think the scholarship program that Hanif mentioned is gonna play a vital role in the partnerships team, because we're gonna be reaching out to a lot of our partners and like alumni relations such as alumnus to see if they can help like invest in the scholarship program and help out with students who may need it. And partnerships is also going to become a point of contact for external partnership relations, and we are aiming to maintain strong relations with PERMIAS Nasional's current partners in organization to help build our resources and to help expand our network and connections. So that's partnerships. Next, Michelle. So the next one is events. And the biggest thing that we're gonna do with events is we're gonna use the event platform to try to unite all of the coast to coast. So what we did with coast to coast for the previous administration is what we kind of want to do more of for this administration. Because like Michelle talked about, we want to focus on reuniting everyone, and we want to focus on community building. And I think that the biggest thing that we saw, especially during the pandemic, is that we've had a lot more events and a lot of people have come to more events. And especially with Coast to Coast, where we had a series with like West Coast and East Coast, I think that was really beneficial, and it helped kind of help people socialize as well, especially like the leaders and everything. So yeah, and I think a few programs that we're gonna continue with is Ignite and Annual Congress. And then we also want to have a welcoming party series for incoming students, and hopefully we can all socialize together and then create a better PERMIAS, I guess, or like a bigger PERMIAS. We're also going to be working closely with the hub. Thank you. We're also going to be working closely with the hub to avoid overlaps, because I think that was a big problem that we faced for the current administration. Kayaknya a lot of events were on the same day at the similar timing, jadi numpuk-numpuk. So I think with the hub and the help of our coordinator wilayahs, which is what I'll explain later, we're going to be able to avoid that, and we're going to be able to support each other more in these events. And we're also going to try to conduct more market research to see what students need. And I think the biggest thing is that a lot of the webinars can focus on business and like entrepreneurship and things like that, tapi we kind of want to focus more as well on the arts and music and like kind of touch on that side as well. And we also again want to encourage event collaboration such as Coast to Coast for this current administration. Yeah, next. So for promotion publications, I think the biggest programs that we've heard of is Kata and Overheard PERMIAS, and that's something that we want to continue to maintain. And as the department, we want to focus on supporting the creative needs of each department, PERMIAS Nasional. And I think we're going to have monthly meetings with other departments to stay updated. And we also want to make sure that upcoming events is scheduled correctly gitu. And with the hub, we can work together between departments to help make sure that all these events are going to be scheduled at different times. And I think that content-wise, we also want to focus on content creation. So creating content that's going to be very helpful and very educating for students. We want to educate students through our content as well to attract more people to PERMIAS Nasional and really expand people's mindsets in a sense that like we're going to talk to them about like, okay, this is our upcoming event, for example, and these are a few lessons that you can get from it. So kind of giving them a taste of like potential events as well. So yeah. Thank you. So next is community outreach and alumni relations. So the biggest thing with community outreach and alumni relations is a few programs that we're gonna have is the community database, PERMIAS Asmara, forum, and professional associations. So first, community database is gonna focus more on where we wanna make sure that we have every single orang Indonesia and the Amerika, we wanna have their database. We wanna know who they are, and we wanna make sure that we can support them and what they wanna do. And then also we have PERMIAS Asmara, which is it's an application where we can connect people together, orang Indonesia who are looking for the same interests, who are potentially looking for dates or friends or professionals and things like that. So PERMIAS Asmara is going to be the new big thing. Thank you, Michelle. And I think it's going to, yes, dates. So it's going to kind of be like a dating, networking, everything platform where you can meet friends, you can socialize, you can, yeah, do what you do. And then we also have forums. And the biggest thing with forums is that kind of a lot of people in the US or Indonesia, they have a lot of similar interests. And so we want to bring these interests together. We want to bring these people together through forums. We want to, for example, if you're interested in music, if you're interested in the arts specifically, then we are going to create a forum for you so that you can connect with all these other different individuals who are interested in the same thing. Sorry about that. So yeah, forums, and by having a community where you guys share the same interests, you guys can build upon one another, expand your network again, and build on what you want to do, and like have these people potentially help you and partner up with you, things like that. And professional associations is we want to also be able to use our connections with alumni and with different branches to increase the amount of understanding we have like as an Indonesian community professionally. Jadi kayak we want to be able to grow our country kan, and by doing that we should connect with like other professionals who know what they're doing and help out like that. So yeah, next one, Shal. Thank you. So Korwil, Koordinator Wilayah, focuses on, sorry, hold on. Koordinator Wilayah will be in charge of communicate. Wait, sorry, Shal. Kayaknya ini salah slide deh. I think it's the next one. Kalau Koordinator Wilayah, is it?
I think it's
This is ArcDev, yeah.
No, I think this is the right one. I think just the top description is wrong. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. Yeah, so Koordinator Wilayah basically is going to be in charge of communicating information from PERMIAS Nasional to the different PERMIAS chapters in their designated area. So East Coast 1, which includes Boston, Rhode Island, etc., and East Coast 2, and so on. And this department will also focus on updating PERMIAS Nasional on the well-being of each chapter in terms of any upcoming events or any issues they face. So again, as Michelle mentioned in the beginning, the biggest thing for us is we want to be able to support our chapters. And I think Koro Whales are going to be an essential part of doing that, because they're going to be the ones that communicate to us like, okay, this chapter is having an issue, or this chapter is having an event, how can we help them? And we also want them to be like a bridge between PERMIAS Nas and all these chapters, and we want them to create strong relationships with the heads of these chapters, because we want to be able to be beneficial to all our chapters. We want to be able to be a resource, we want to be able to be a network, and we want to be able to work together to really grow our community. And so yeah, that's about it for Waterwheel. So ArcDev is a department that supports all PERMIAS chapters, and they bridge connections as well. And this department will also bridge and support chapters in PERMIAS. And so the programs that we already have are chapter database, sharing chapter contact lists, workshop and drive, and the hub. The hub, I think, is one of the biggest things in ArcDev, because again, as I mentioned before, all of our events for PERMIAS is going to be posted on the hub. And so working closely with the hub, especially the events team in PNP, it's going to help a lot to prevent any overlapping events. And it's also going to help us to be able to see what's out there and allow students to see what's out there, to see what interests them and what they're going to need or what they want. And also, yeah, thank you. That's it. Thank you.
We can give applause to Michelle, Latissa, and Hanif. Thank you for the great presentation. So now we're going to have a Q&A session. So me and Darren, we're gonna ask 2 questions first to Michelle, Hanif, and Latissa. And after that, we will let you all, the audience, to ask questions if you have any. Feel free to drop the questions in the chat, or if you want to turn on your microphone, that works too. So yeah, let's start. The first question is, how will you encourage stronger team relationships internally within PERMIAS National and possibly other Chabang members?
Okay. I think I'll build upon what Hanif said. So first of all, for how to build relationship internally, one thing that we found on this board, maybe it's not very familiar to people outside and external chapters, as a lot of the board and the different areas work in their own silos. So what we really wanted to create was one unity of system within PERMIAS Nasional, and also extending to the chapters themselves. So I'll address it within PERMIAS Nasional. Terus second, I'll address it to the chapters. So within PERMIAS Nasional, what we are doing with the general affairs team is creating monthly meetings with the directors. So we make sure we know what every single department is doing. And then another key resource is our human relations and development department, where, you know, I think kadang kita nggak ngerasa, tapi kita, we pour our hearts out and our time into organisasi kayak Permias, tapi what do I get? Of course, there's that passion part, tapi the other thing that I really want to focus on is just giving back to the people within the organization and making sure kayak kita tuh satu komunitas, tapi people also get value. Mungkin something as small as they get a course hero atau CHAG di dalam PERMIAS Nasional that's going to be shared from all members, and all these little things that we're going to build with our HR department to also ensure that people are receiving value within PERMIAS Nasional and also be able to develop themselves and their goals. And maybe even Hanif, if you want to add to this after this, you can. And on top of that, monthly director meetings to really set our agenda. We want to look at what we have done this month, the achievement, and what we're going to do next month. Abis itu, quarterly, we're also trying to meet with all the cabang-cabang. Jadi misalnya every end of the month itu dengan directors, terus every 3 months kita update ke cabang-cabang. And every month when we have these updates, what is Permias up to see this month, we can just send it over to the Dewan Perwakilan WhatsApp group. And then so everyone can know like all the different programs and everything like that. And we can have also a feedback box for all the chapters to, collaborate and give their feedback. And in terms of the chapter side and how we do outreach and connect with them is 2 points, which is with the Coordinator Wilayah and Organizational Development, ORGDEV, where they're really the key contact people for all the different chapters yang give sort of chapters a smaller group ya. Kadang mungkin kalau Dewan Perwakilan ada grup 200 orang, people are not too comfortable with saying what they want to say. But then with Corwell, we really want to make sure we engage with all the chapters and chapter leaders to make sure it's a community, bukan cuma kayak WhatsApp group yang cuma isinya announcement gitu doang. And how to do this is through setting like meetings, kayak social meetings, not just meetings when there's things to share, but literally just meetings where we can meet and talk and get to know each other as people. And other things is to create value add programs, again, that I mentioned earlier, is to really talk to chapters and address what they need. Even something as simple as, sharing contact lists. Dewan Perwakilan ada grupnya 200 orang, but I'm pretty sure, a lot of the chapter heads do not have the contacts of other chapters because they're just numbers in a group. So something as simple as even just sharing, like, who are the different names and, what are they presidents or VPs of chapter mana aja, something as simple as that, but that can move the needle. So when you're trying to reach out, you're trying to make an event and you want to reach out, maybe you're Permias UCLA and you want to reach out to Permias Madison or some Permias in the East, like Permias NYC, you know who to reach out to, and you're not just seeing these different numbers, but you actually know, the people. So I think if that suffices as an answer, if Hanif or Latissa wants to add. Or maybe.
You want to answer, or Hanif?
No, I think Michelle pretty much summed it all
up. Thank you for your answer, guys. I think for me, I've also prepared a few questions, but I think we can go more towards like career workshops. Is how can you represent certain majors or industries more, like music, arts, and film students in your programs? So that I think in terms of opportunities, there's more opportunities for them to be more represented in terms of like career workshops, gitu, atau networking. So what is your thoughts on that topic?
Yeah. So I think in terms of kind of expanding to like the interests of everyone, a lot of people, like the Indonesian Student Art Association, if you guys know about it, itu baru, and they focus really on creating a community of people who just love art. And we want to be able to bring that to PERMIAS Nasional. That's why they're one of the people that we want to partner with, because they know themselves best. And I think they are also going to be a segue into doing art events, art workshops, and like maybe even bringing a professional artist in and talking about, okay, what do I do on a daily, and like, why do I love it? What do I focus on? Maybe tips and tricks on art, gitu. And I think that the forums are also going to help that, because the forums are going to be based on people's interests. Jadi that's going to be important as well. Yeah. Hanif, Shell, if you want to add anything.
I can add a little. Oh, sorry. I
No,
can
go
add a
ahead.
little bit. I think there's also a lot of network in the US, orang-orang Indo juga that are in these departments. Some amazing events that I've recognized myself, kayak live, and that's another really cool event where when I experienced it firsthand, kayak some artists datang dari Indo benar-benar ke sini and sutradara juga untuk ngomong tentang their events. So maybe we can even reach out to organizations like that and have them as potential partners, spotlight them more and focus on that, because I definitely agree with you, Darren. Kayak sometimes the focus is very business oriented, and then there's also all these other interests, kayak bukan cuma art and music juga, tapi there's also a lot of people that are in science, kayak there's people doing nuclear engineering, petroleum, very specific subjects, Hanif, that maybe is not discussed as much, and we really want to include that diversity and inclusion with Tahun Depan.
Yeah, thank you, Latissa and Michelle, for that answer. We actually have a question from Instagram. They're asking, what makes you different from the previous PERMIAS administration?
I think I can chip in on that. So I think the main difference is that we already have an amazing administration prior to us. So we have learned so much from them. Shout out to Alvin, Andrew, and Otto. I think they are very amazing people. So what we are doing is actually kind of improving further gitu. Bukan berarti ada yang salah, tapi kayak we are trying just to make it better and better, because that's basically what everyone should do to keep improving. So yeah, I mean, on the administrative side of the organization, I think that Alvin, Andrew, and Otto already did an amazing job, but in terms of the system, it really relies on the three of them. And if we're talking about a sustainable organization, then we really should dig deep in terms of setting up the whole system. So yeah, I would say especially the internal affairs division will be focusing a lot in setting up those systems. So I would say probably about 50% of their work will be in the beginning of the administration, which is setting up the whole system. So yeah, we're talking about the KPI system, the OKR system, and then the archiving system. So everything should be talked about as a system gitu. Kita berusaha bikin sesuatu yang sustainable, semua dibukukan. We're going to have a lot of SOP. Yeah, and I think our the most important thing to improve that is that we are going to have our own general affairs department, which consists of generalists, sekjen, and secretaries. So yeah, they're going to play a very big part. I would say the generalist is probably our fourth and fifth player in our team. Jadi kayak mereka bakal punya fungsi kontrol juga in terms of the other departments in order to assist us to really take a look at PERMIAS Nasional as a whole system gitu ya, balik lagi kayak yang tadi. So yeah, I think that's how we are going to be different, because we are looking at PERMIAS Nasional as a sustainable system. Shall this? If you have anything to add?
No, I think you said it perfectly. Kayak dari tahun kemarin udah, I think we need to recognize them juga, Alvin and Roto. They did an amazing job turning PERMIAS National around, and want to say thank you and grateful to them that we've started with this baseline yang kayak akhirnya nge-motivate kita jangan sampai sama just like that, tapi on top of what they already did, kayak we want to grow it to make it even bigger. And I'm really close to them juga, so hopefully kayak my hope ke tahun depan is also make them proud, kayak grow the legacy that they've left behind this year and make it even bigger next year, and hopefully make it a sustainable system. Jadi whoever it ends up with in the following year, they can always just run PERMIAS Nasional and continue to make it bigger.
Yeah, thank you so much, Hanif and Michelle. I think it's a great segue to next topic or questions that we're going to ask is, how do you plan on making PERMIAS Nasional's leaders for the future or as an organization very sustainable to make sure that there's actually healthy competition for presidents and heads of departments to actually apply and to continue the legacy and what you've created, and to make sure you're leaving it to the hands of people that are actually caring about PERMIAS Nasional, and making sure that they're competent as well.
Sure. I can start first, and then bisa ada yang mau nambah. I really like that question gara-gara kayak it's a unique thing ya, kayak kita di PERMIAS Nasional, PERMIAS Chabang juga, semuanya tuh termnya cuma setahun, abis itu tahun depan nggak tahu gimana lagi, and all the stakeholders and parties completely change. So somehow kita bisa bilang juga it's somewhat an unstable sort of system, tapi I feel if we are able to operationalize it and be smart about it, we can make the continuous growth very manageable. Jadi the number one thing, that's why we created an operational team and general affairs, is to make sure as well that all these teams are succeeding. And then second, in terms of making future leaders, I think there's, three parties to look at. First, internally within PERMIAS Nasional itself, we are trying to recruit people with the potential to become future leaders, and we're looking at dari chapters juga as representative, and we're trying to be as diverse as possible in our PERMIAS Nasional board to include all the chapters, and also not just recruit people that have value in it. Maksudnya are more experienced and udah mau graduate, tapi one of the key questions we're asking in our recruitment is how many years of university do you have left? Karena our hope is mereka bukan di situ cuma 1 tahun, tapi mungkin tahun ke depan, kalau misalnya bukan sebagai langsung presiden, tapi mungkin as a department head, mereka bisa sort of contribute atau ada knowledge base dari tahun kemarin dibawa ke tahun ke depan, which is very important, I think. So focusing on, budding young leaders, lah to say, in our recruitment as well, and seeing who has the potential to grow in that department, and then also engaging with chapters, kayak with these monthly meetings, di mana kita ngasih tahu achievements kita apa aja, kita ngerjain apa aja, so the chapters are hyper aware of what we are doing. So maybe even next year, kayak the calon-calon bukan datang dari PERMIAS Nasional internally aja, tapi juga dari chapters, mereka udah tahu nih kayak tiap bulan PERMIAS tuh ngapain aja sih, and we can communicate that even more to all the chapters. And hopefully when we work together with all the chapters, kita juga bisa communicate with the entire student body in the US and find more people that way. Yeah.
Latissa or Hanif, do you have any masukan or?
Yeah, Hanif duluan deh. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I think that like passion and care is like the biggest thing if you want to become a leader. You have to be passionate about what you do. You have to actually care. And I think what's really good about the application process, there's a lot of requirements and there's a lot of things that you have to do. And I think that really shows how much you want it, because once you can work for it, kan pasti mau. And I think that's something that we're gonna really push for, to make sure that we have good leaders for the next cabinet and the cabinet after that too. So,
yeah, just to add a little bit, I think what Latissa is saying is very, very true. In addition to what Michelle is also saying, benar-benar kita dari passion banget. We are going to this whole thing, so it's going to be also like that for the next administration. But what we are going to do in our administration is basically we are going to create the platforms, jadi supaya mereka bisa belajar dari apa yang dilakukan sama yang kemarin. Kita akan bikin sistem pembukuan yang jelas, archiving, and then LPJ reports, monthly, bi-weekly report system and stuff. So we are going to make that available for whoever is going to lead this organization next. And then through the HRD, we are also going to really push in the leadership trainings, and just to make sure that not only the future leaders but also all of the officers are not going through this administration with nothing in their hands gitu. Jadi kayak mereka benar-benar ngerasain pembelajaran dari ngeran organisasi ini. And all sort of trainings. I mean, yeah, pretty much we are setting up the platforms.
Last one-line thought, tapi speaking of future leaders, we're also trying to assemble a strategic team. So although we've presented today, kayak we still want to get as much feedback as possible. So in that strategic team, we'll lebih go in detail about kerangka next year, program-programnya apa, and really finalize and polish from what we have presented today. So we'll drop that link in the chat box. If anyone is interested, please check out that form and apply to be part of the strategic team.
Yeah, thank you so much, Michelle, Latissa, and Hanif, for those answers. I'm not sure if Jimmy, our second moderator, is still having technical issues, but you can go ahead and ask.
I have another question. So, how do you grow your presence and reach out to students who are not familiar with PERMIAS Nasional or even their resources?
Yeah, paling also to add to that question is kind of like growing your, I guess, your social media presence juga, because me personally, I don't think I'm quite familiar with PERMIAS Nasional like before joining PERMIAS. Like I knew there were like Chabangs within each state. How do you plan on like making sure that you kind of target your audience that you want to this year, especially get freshmen coming in, and you also want to create the database kind of students? I don't know how they got to that number of 8,000 students in the US for Indos. So like I'm pretty curious on how your approach is this year.
Yeah, maybe. Thank you, Darren, Jimmy. Maybe I can kind of answer the question. Jadi, I think the biggest thing that we want to do kan is we want to be able to, for external at least, events, Pnp partnerships, we're going to try to maximize all of these resources. How are we going to do that? Well, first, kan, with Pnp, we're going to try to partner with external organizations that meet with our same values. Maybe like Michelle mentioned, other student organizations from like around the world and JIPA and things like that. And through those organizations, we're going to build on our target market, basically, of like, it's not necessarily only Indos in the US, but like just students in general who are looking to find resources, looking to grow to grow basically. And from finding these external partners, we're gonna potentially do some events with them and promo it through PNP, and not promo just, oh, this is the event, but promo, this is what you can potentially get out of the event. This is what the event is about, and this is why it can be important for you. This is why it can be applicable. And I think that's one of the ways that we can kind of expand and grow our network is through our partnerships, through our current partners already, and through PERMIAS chapters as well. So yeah, that's Shell, if you want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think lumayan penting ya topiknya yang ini, kayak ini juga one of my passion yang I think we really need to zero down on. Darren, I agree with you. We're trying to find out where we found that number. But banyak dari PERMIAS cabang kayak concernnya itu kayak gue nggak tahu nih, sorry agak informal, tapi who are the people in the school that are Indonesians? Like tiba-tiba at the end of the year you meet someone new that's never even been part of the chapter. So what I'm gonna say is, PERMIAS Nasional in isolation cannot do much gitu. We cannot do things alone, and what we're really relying on, again, what we said, is our key partner. And I say here, I emphasize partner, is cabang-cabang gitu. Kayak we really need to work together and collaborate. Gimana PERMIAS bisa support cabang-cabang, terus gimana cabang-cabang juga bisa work together sama PERMIAS Nasional, which is maybe we promote our program dari cabang-cabang, and from that kita collect database bekerja bareng cabang-cabang, and kalau misalnya PERMIAS Nasional juga dari program-program yang ketemu new people, kita juga share that to cabang-cabang. So that's what I really want to do, maybe create some sort of system with applying events and everything like that. Makanya that's the focus of community outreach. We're gonna find someone who's really into data, a data guy, to make this system and execute it in the next year.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle, for that answer. Paling, we want to open the floor more for any questions for you guys. Yeah. But if not, we have a couple more questions, Paling, before we kind of end tonight's session.
Yeah, feel free to drop the questions in the chat or just turn on your microphone. That works as well.
Sorry, boleh nanya?
Oh, boleh banget, boleh banget.
Okay.
If you want to introduce yourself juga first, and before you ask.
Halo semua. My name is Christian dari Berkeley Indonesian Community, and thank you for the Zoom ya, and for the presentation. I agree with the point yang kayak susah buat cari tahu murid-murid baru tuh siapa aja. Kayak kita ada orang anak baru udah semester 3 tapi kita sama sekali nggak tahu gitu. Jadi I think I look forward to mungkin bisa bagi database atau apapun itu yang bisa saling membantu. I have a question lebih ke arah mungkin program-program tahun ini rencananya lebih ke in person atau masih virtual. Soalnya kan US udah lebih kebuka gitu. Terus sama I think kan kita Berkeley Indonesian Community juga plan buat adain more in-person concert this upcoming year. So I think what I wanna ask is just like the hal-hal yang bisa kita collab gitulah, maksudnya bisa saling membantu atau apapun itu, mungkin event-event PERMIAS kah atau event-event kita juga mungkin kita bisa reach out maksudnya how can we strengthen our relationship aja sih, apalagi sama PERMIAS Nasional kayaknya belum ke-establish gitu relationship-nya for now. Gitu aja sih. Thank you.
Silahkan dijawab.
Thank you, Christian, for the question. Mungkin dari Hanif dulu, ntar gue tambah aja.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, actually the three of us have this idea. Tadi soal yang in person atau virtual ya. Jadi emang most likely it's easier to connect all of us if we're very kayak benar-benar nyebar in all different parts of the US and even in Indonesia. Jadi yeah, most likely a lot of the events will be held virtual, but we are also looking forward for in-person activities gitu. Kayak kemarin kita sempat bahas, we would like to have some sort of welcoming party for all of the incoming students to the US. Tapi welcoming party ini nggak cuma satu event for all the US, but we are gonna make it a series gitu. Jadi kayak for each of the regions gitu. We all probably know that we have ada banyak KJRI juga kan di masing-masing region. So yeah, we're thinking about having some sort of in-person welcoming party gitu, yang jadi ntar semua student di sana bisa ngumpul di daerah KJRI-nya masing-masing, atau we haven't really talked about the details, but that's an idea of what we are trying to do. And then tadi kalau yang soal concert, ini to be honest I am hands down a fan of all of the Berkeley students gitu. Kayak gue seneng banget nontonin di YouTube gitu, kayak kalau anak-anak Berkeley tampil kayak wow, very very talented gitu, very 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 entertaining. And jadi kalau soal how you're going to collaborate with us, jadi we really push all of the chapters to really ngembangin program kerjanya masing-masing gitu ya. Jadi kayak ngadain konser, ngadain acara-acara apapun, we really push forward, and we are very open if you guys need any sort of help gitu. Kayak misalkan butuh bantuan untuk ngontakin partisipannya, ntar kita bantu broadcast juga from our channels, and then kalau misalkan butuh bantuan untuk in terms of partnership, you guys would like to contact anyone, we can also assist you with that. So just yeah, we really want all of the chapters to know that we are here for you gitu. Jadi kita of course kita kayak tadi udah jelasin, kita punya program masing-masing, but really our purpose is to serve all of the chapters and its members gitu. Jadi if you guys need any help, just feel free, any kind of help, just communicate with us. We're going to see how we can help you in detail. And one other thing tadi kalau soal concert, misalkan Berkeley mau bikin concert, we are also pushing collaboration between each of the chapters gitu. Jadi ntar mungkin kalau Berkeley mau ngadain konser, mungkin nggak hanya Berkeley tapi juga involving all the universities di daerah East Coast misalkan. East kan ya? Ya, ini meeting East, sorry. So yeah, something like that. We are very excited. Kemarin ada event collaboration juga di Midwest, konser virtual. We would really like if other chapters in other regions can also do something like that. Okay, Shell, I'm sure you have things to add.
No, you said it perfectly, I think. Okay banget.
Thank you, Hanif, for the answer.
Thank you, Christian, for your question. The floor is still open for any questions if you guys want to ask. Paling, if not, me and Jimmy can probably ask one more question from each of us, and then we can call it a day, paling, for the first info session. You want to ask first, Jim, or?
You can go first, Darren.
Yeah, paling, I don't know if you guys also mentioned the office hours. I'm not sure if you guys are going to still do that. If you are, can you kind of dig more deeper about how it's going to be and what is it for? Yeah, I think that's one of the questions. Yep.
Boleh.
Go ahead.
Jadi kalau office hours itu we're still assigning responsibility-nya ada dari kayak kita bertiga atau juga buat koordinator wilayah. So we're actually doing two types of office hours. Satu tuh yang buat available buat semua chapters and publicly, and then the other one is like internally within PERMIAS Nasional. Jadi kalau misalnya itu externally is basically besides WhatsApp, kalau misalnya ada some sort of emergency, people need to contact or anything like that, or even if people just want to hang out, kayak ngobrol-ngobrol, curhat, curcol, atau there's some sort of conflict, maybe like what we experienced last time, you know, there was like a lot of things that actually happened this year, yang regarding the visa, COVID, and even more things. That's like one platform where people can just come in and drop in regularly, to just come talk to kayak basically dari orang-orang dari PERMIAS National representative. And the whole point of why we did that office hours and how we're going to set it up is the fact that we want to be more reachable, yeah, and also actually do what we're saying in terms of facilitating collaboration and engagement. Jadi how it's gonna work, kemarin gue bilang rasanya kayak profesor ada office hours, but so ini Profesor Hanif, Latissa, Michelle, nggak ada, ntar gue dimarahin kayak belum nggak ada gelar profesor, but so just where people are free to just come in and ask any questions they have, even as simple as it is, or if it's a complex question, or if it's just they want to hang out, ada one set time dimana people can just jump in and hop on a call and ask those questions. For externally, it's for asking programs or anything that's going on, and for internally, we have the same thing where people can just jump on, even like if there's nothing to discuss, do work sessions and everything like that, just to, you know, really get down our point of engagement and actually execute it, so people can make so PERMIAS Nasional is more accessible to everyone.
I just want to add something really quickly to that juga, Shal. Kayak office hours juga kan bisa bantu with like feedback. So if there's any concerns that you have, PERMIAS chapters or PERMIAS Nasional in general, kayak these office hours are going to be very helpful and it's going to let us know, okay, kita ada masalah, we made a mistake, how can we fix it juga. So
Yeah, that's great.
Good.
Thank you, Michelle and Latissa. I'll give it over to Jimmy to kind of wrap it up and finalize his last
Yeah.
question.
So my question is that like, three of you are the only ones who are running for president and vice president this period, 2021, 2022. So my question is that how could you encourage the current PERMIAS national members or possibly Chabang members so that they are willing to run for president or vice president next period?
maybe I can add something really quickly just before, yeah. So I think that's a really good question sih, Jimmy. Kayak kita emang bertiga, we're the only ones running. And how we want and why we are running sebenarnya kayak untuk gue at least is because I really love the idea of having a community of orang Indonesia di luar Indonesia. Kayak when I'm in the US, I'm in college. And I think that how we can try to convince others to kayak run for next year itu kayak once you're part of PERMIAS, you are part of this community, and thinking about how the community might not be the same next year because of kayak mungkin someone yang kurang bagus or something like that, like kayak that's kind of sad kan. Jadi kayak maybe them, because of their care and their passion for PERMIAS and for the growth of their community, that would be kind of enough for them to run. And so we want to be able to create this amazing community for them so that they would want to run for next year and keep up with that amazing community. I think that's something, yeah.
Do you want to add, Michelle or Hanif, to that answer?
Yeah, just a little bit to add from my side at least. Kenapa why I decided to also run with Michelle and Latissa. Yeah, other than the things that Latissa also say, yeah, the things that she also said. Personally, I really want to. I saw great potential in PERMIAS Nasional. I mean, we already know our alumni sekarang kayak banyak yang di jajaran menteri and pemerintahan or even dirut dan segala macam, because we have that potential as Indonesian students in the United States. So I think this PERMIAS Nasional is a very great platform to really push everyone to their maximum potential, and I really want to be a part of that. So yeah, that's for me.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I'll add to that also. I'll add my personal reason of why I wanted to run. Itu kayak I felt very passionate, and there's still like with the momentum that we're going this year. Benar kata Hanif and Latissa juga, there's so much potential for this organization to grow and for it to mean even more than what it does today. Jadi kayak I really want to see that happen. Gue benar-benar mau execute all these different programs and make it happen. And that is actually one of the ways how we encourage more people to come when they know kayak what PERMIAS Nasional is and they've engaged and, you know, participated in our events. Hopefully they will also run for next year and want to be even like lead this events and continue PERMIAS Nasional. And the other part is also recruiting from diverse chapters and you know, having these budding leaders and a lot of them, because I think sometimes we underestimate kayak how much talent we have in the US. Tapi benar-benar we have so many great leaders, and how I want to run the organization next year is to make sure people have ownership and initiative and, you know, over the projects that they are doing, so they do learn these leadership skills. And the last point is, I think, promotion. You know, I think it's really getting to know like who are the potential people that I think will be great leaders for this organization, and maybe even having one-on-ones with them. Hey, like, I think you'd be a great leader, and I really see you coming to yourself into this role. And reaching out to them and tell them, like, this is something you should really look at, and support all people, everyone that wants to run for the next year, because I think hopefully after this year is we have a strong, continuous and sustainable growth in the future. And I think even Hanif and this knows, kayak I repeat this every single time we have meetings, kayak, okay, we need to find people that can become future leaders di departemen mana aja. Terus kayak kira-kira dia mau ikut lagi nggak? Aku selalu nanya kayak, okay, dia what year level is she or he, and how many years left do they have? So I really like that question, and thank you so much for that question. So we have an emphasized focus on making sure that happens for the next year.
Tadi how many years they have left on their study? Not.
Yeah. Study, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, thank you for the correction.
All right, thank you for the answers. So I think we have come to the end of the information session. So do you have anything to add, Darren?
I think for myself is it's been great. It's been great talking to you guys. I love your answers. Is there anything you guys want to add that we didn't touch upon yet, or are you guys quite content with today's discussion?
I think semuanya udah lumayan lengkap. I just want to say thank you so much for hosting dari tim ad hoc juga. And I think if there's one last thing to add is just we really want to focus next year on our collaboration with all the chapters. So thank you juga for the chapter heads that came in today. We really hope we can work together with you the next year a lot more. And always feel free to come and reach out and PM me and talk to me with whatever feedback, comments, or concerns you have. We want to be as inclusive as possible, and we want PERMIAS Nasional not to run in a silo, tapi selalu accepting your guys' feedback. Jadi kalau misalnya anything you see and anything you want to write down, just feel free to reach out to me, or even Hanif and Latissa. Our doors are always open. Thank you, ad hoc team.
Oh yeah, just for friendly reminder, next week we are gonna have another information session. Untuk Permias di Midwest will be led by wait, is it Harun? And so it will be led by Harun and Billy for the next week's information session for the Midwest Permias information session. Jadi make sure kalian semua kalau mau nonton lagi bisa lewat live streaming di YouTube. Dan ya.
Same time, yeah. Same time.
Yeah, same time.
Yeah. Oh, you want to add something, Jimmy?
I don't have anything to add right now. So.
Okay.
Sorry,
yeah.
can I chip in real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just to follow up what we already talked about. Yeah, so like we said, we are opening positions for our strategic team. So basically, the outcome of this team is to basically help us to concept everything that we are going to have for the next coming administration team. So let us know if you are interested. I'm going to drop the link here in the chat room. Jadi kalau teman-teman ada yang interested in what we talked about and have ideas or just want to be part of this whole process of setting up the next administration, or if you want to be part of the next administration board, feel free to let us know by sending by filling out the form through the link that I shared.
Okay, if there's nothing else to add, I think that's it. We can wrap up today's info session. We would like, me and Jimmy as moderators, would like to thank everyone for coming and tuning in for the first info session hosted by the ad hoc team. We want to say our greatest thank you juga to the future presidents and vice presidents, to Michelle, Latissa, and Hanif. I hope we're very excited to what you guys have to offer in terms of programs and how you guys are going to lead the next administration. But thank you so much for coming and presenting and taking your time tonight.
Yeah, thank you so
Very
much.
grateful.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.